Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is George and today we have a lot of things to discuss. Now this video is going to be in about 3 to 4 parts. So if you're watching the first part, maybe if you're watching me on Facebook, the other part would be on YouTube because I don't want to flood Facebook with this particular issue because I have a lot of other things that I think would add value to you to discuss society's trends. So you might have to go on YouTube to watch the rest of them. But to my dear, amazing, wonderful viewers, I wanted to even hide my eyes today. I said, no, let me show them my real face so that as I'm making this video, I know I'm going to hurt a lot of people. Even after making the first video, some people said in the comments that I have been paid. You know, one thing, let me first talk to you wonderful viewers. The only thing I owe you, if I owe you anything, is that I make videos and share my opinions about whatever it is I see trending. In the end, it's my opinion. If you don't like it, go and hug Transformer. Or if you don't like it, tell me what you don't like in the comments. Please unfollow me if you want, because now this looks like the case. Some of you that have known me for over a year right now, remember when Mike David was trending with Apostle Johnson Suleiman? When he released that particular audio recording, that even though the audio recording was actually a real situation that happened, he doctored the audio recording and added his voice. In case you have not watched the video, I'll still link it here in the pinned comment if you're watching me on YouTube. Go and watch the video I made about that at that time. Read the comments and see what people were saying, because some people said I was paid by Suleiman to expose Mike David, because of course clearly. And you have to know something if you're watching Being Real George, for those of you that are new viewers, because this is the second time I've made a video about 𝐻𝐸𝐼𝐻𝐸𝐻𝐸𝐻𝐸𝐻 before, but it wasn't like my video. It was a video I posted of someone else that exposed 𝐻𝐸𝐼𝐻𝐸𝐻𝐸𝐻, saying that he's occultic and all that. I just posted the video without making a comment. If you want to see the video, it's still linked in the description section of this video. So there are videos here that, but for me to categorically talk about him, this is going to be my second video outrightly talking about him. Now the first video I even made, some people came and said on Facebook, very stupid, shallow-minded people, I mean the ones that commented that I was paid, can you prove that 𝐻𝐸𝐼𝐻𝐸𝐻𝐸𝐻 paid me? Because I've seen that many times. Once you don't see things that suit your narrative, you claim that the blogger has been paid. But it's okay. Some bloggers actually do get paid. We have looked at the case like that here on the channel during Suleiman's case. So it happens. But one thing money cannot buy is integrity, dignity, and loyalty. That's one thing for me, I believe. So when it comes to this, that is it. So today we have a couple of things to discuss. Now let me give you a premise, because on the first video I said I was going to look at a couple of things, even getting to 𝐻𝐸𝐼𝐻𝐸 as a platform. Now this whole thing didn't start with Prof X, even though Prof X is the one that, you know, kind of dug up the old video and brought it out. But one thing I like about my person and how I work, no matter how long it takes for me, I'm going to take my time to make sure I find the facts to the case and then discuss it appropriately. So if you may not like my opinion, but you have to agree to the facts that are of the case. Now I had to go back to where Prof X took the videos from, and there were, in my own best understanding, there were about 3 significant meetings that the woman had with 𝐻𝐸𝐼𝐻𝐸, where she came to discuss her situation with 𝐻𝐸𝐼𝐻𝐸𝐻𝐸. And so this video now, I'm going to be looking at the first meeting entirely, the first meeting where she had, because I saw a video where they posted more of like trying to prove that she's a liar or something, blah blah blah. I was like, wait, these videos have to be coming from somewhere. So I had to take my time to go through 𝐻𝐸𝐼𝐻𝐸's channel. It was a lot of stress, but I think I have to do it so that if I'm discussing something, I come from the point of information, not the point of deformation, because some of you have already been deformed in your mind having a particular narrative because you are moved by emotions, not by fact. So I move by fact no matter what the case is. All right, so this particular first part of the video, I'm going to be looking at the first meeting, and as we go on, we're going to be looking at 𝐻𝐸𝐼𝐻𝐸's integrity as a person, the twisted narrative of this particular story, and some inconsistencies I noticed as well when I was watching and listening to the woman's story. In case you are interested in this and many more, stick around, and please don't say my video is too long. I'm not a skit maker. Wow, I spent a lot of time introducing this particular video because the rest of them, I don't think I'll be doing this. Now, let's look at a couple of things right here that I observed in this case. In case you don't know about the story of Ruth Matthews, let's say you are new to this. Ruth Matthews is a crippled woman that, according to her, went to Jeremiah 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐼𝐻𝐻𝐻 church, Mercy City, as at then, based on the TV, Mercy City, but the place is Mercyland, I think, based on what I know. And then she went there, according to the meeting, the first meeting which I'm talking about right now, she went there on the ground that she was having financial issues whereby she sells something, money disappears and all that. She went there to seek some form of solution to her problem. So note, according to what he said in the first meeting, she went there because she was having issues with money getting missing, because the narrative gets to change as we go on. So when that happened, that was how she got in contact with the person of Jeremiah 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐼𝐻𝐻𝐻. Now let's ask ourselves a question. She went for a program, if I'm not mistaken, right? And the title of that program is Who Shall Roll This Stone Away? Now, the picture you can see on your screen is Jeremiah 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻 doing whatever he was doing with stones, a bunch of stones. And then on the 18th, this video was posted, or it was even posted much earlier, promoting the particular program, which was around Easter 2019. Please, I want you to do the work yourself. Check those particular dates, 18th, 19th, 20th and the 21st. Okay, that was more of like their Easter program. So let's say Good Friday, Saturday and Sunday, you understand? So it was more of like a 3-day program where it was tagged Who Shall Roll This Stone Away. And according to when she went to 𝐻𝐵 family to go and present her case, she was holding that particular tag. Now think for yourself in a moment. This program is a 3-day program, and that was what she went for. Okay, now hold that thought somewhere, because we are going to be going on as we talk about a couple of things. Now, when I looked at that app in issue, I was thinking to myself, how did she get to encounter or get to meet Jeremiah 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻? At first, I thought it was more of like during the program, and I had to stress myself going and watching each and every of the program. And I got to observe some things that even happened in his church, and I was like, what, does this thing happen in church? So later I'm going to be looking at Jeremiah 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻's system as a whole, because I have never paid attention to him. I've never ever even looked at him as someone that is quote unquote a man of God, in my opinion, just me, okay? Because on certain things I don't understand. And yes, you might say a logical person doesn't understand spiritual things, but of course, if he's really quote unquote a man of God or a prophet, as he prophesies, he could just open his vocal cavity and say where the child is, instead of kicking her out of his church. So let's not even look at that for now, but let's look at the case as presented by Ruth Matthews. And the first question you have to ask, even though I know some of you have seen the videos, how did Ruth Matthews herself get herself from Abuja, assuming she's staying there, from Abuja to Delta State, where she went there to meet the prophet? Of course, she went there, according to her, she went there with her 4 children. True or false, we are going to find out as we get on with this analysis. Now, according to her, she said in that particular report,
you dey watch am for TV.
I dey watch am for TV.
Wetin you don't see and wetin you don't see, wey make you dey convinced say if you go this man place, your money no go loss again, because he go give you safe, we go save your money.
Sometimes I see say person no fit waka. Person no fit waka. You go pray for like go dey waka. And the guy they do many things for inside the detailing. Now my son can say, Mom, please let's go to that Mercy City now. You know that you pay your tithes inside this thing, oh. The God will help us out.
You pay your tithe where? That means she has a church she was going to before then, or maybe something. So let's not even go into the whole idea of, where she was worshiping before going there. But that was more of like the reason why she thought that, okay, based on this particular situation she's having with her money, let them go there for some form of solution to that, because she had been watching him on the TV. And I want to tell you something like I've always told you. Later, we're going to be looking at a couple of things which I think is going to open your eyes to some of the gimmicks we see happen in church, because some people don't just think in the name of miracles. But I don't want to start, throwing stones here and there. Now we are trying to roll the stone away. So I'm trying to roll the stone away so that things will be clear for you to get. Now she talked about paying to see Jeremiah Omotofufu. She mentioned about a sum of 18,000 naira, if I'm not mistaken. And that is a verified idea, because when we looked at the story of the woman in Germany that also lost her kid, she talked about the whole idea of even having to pay 1,000 euro to see Jeremiah Omotofufu, with the whole analogy that if you were to go to where he's domiciled in Nigeria to see him, you're going to spend more than 1,000 euro to see the same man. So it was logical for them to think that, you know, anyone that wants to have a personal encounter with him, that is madness. Encounter with him has to pay 1,000 euro. Now that is amazing. So just so you see what happens in the whole Christian setting. If Jesus was right here with us right now, these are people that he's going to flog with cane. But look at the grace of God, watching all this nonsense happening in the body of Christ, and yet still someone will write in the comment, very stupid person. The person that is about to write that right now is going to say, oh, don't talk about men of God, don't judge them, blah 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 blah. And we have talked about the whole idea of touch not my anointed and all that in a different video. You can see both stories agreeing right here, paying to see him. Now imagine everyone that was at that particular program that had that tag on their head. If what she's saying is correct, everyone having to pay 3,500 just to hang that tag and be right there. Even some people had 3 or 4 tags on their neck. So that means maybe for him to maybe get to prophesy to you or something, he's seen that tag, he's seeing how much money you have invested in getting to see him. So maybe he gets to prophesy to you. But Omotofufu, if you were really a prophet and then she came and gave such allegations to you before you sent her out, which we are getting to, you could prophesy and say where her child is. Why did you just send her out? But let's go on. Now, according to the story, like as we began, remember this particular program is a 3-day program which she went for. Now, in her submission when she was reporting, she said at first in the first meeting that she met him. She waited a week, 1 to 2 weeks without meeting him, and she was even seeking to collect her money back. Now, I was just thinking to myself, like seriously, you invested this amount of money because you want to see him. Is there a caveat and quote and unquote that terms that when once you pay this money, you get to see him? Maybe that is a caveat. So maybe that's why she was like, come on, I must have to see him. If I don't get to see him, I would have to get my money. And then she stayed put for a week and 2, according to her, so that she can get an audience with Jeremiah Omotofufu. The story even gets more interesting, because at this point I'm asking myself a question. Yes, of course she is crippled. I'm not a sentimental person, so if you want to be sentimental in the comment, it's okay. I was asking myself, how did she transport herself all the way from Abuja, that is if she's staying in Abuja, to Delta there, and then having to stay there for a week or 2? How was she feeding? How was she living and all that? Because at first, according to the story, as we go on towards the end, she was lodging inside, then later, according to her, was directed by the security to stay somewhere outside. But all of these times you are saying money is being spent, expenses are being incurred. I'm now thinking to myself, was she really that much of a less privileged person? Like I've read many of the comments of people talk about this. I don't know, but just think about it in this line. Of course, remember she said according to her, she was into the business of selling bags of rice. So maybe to some extent, she's a little boxed up. That's just my opinion, but let's go on. Now, where I got the problem when I was analyzing this thing was that I had the assumption that since she went for this program, like she showed us there, that she was going to be one way or the other in that particular video, which I didn't find her at all. But for a fact, the streamings that was done about the program were done a day after. That means after taking the shots of what happened at the program, that particular program or whatever happened was edited and posted, because as time goes on, I'm going to show you some things that were happening in that program that I saw some sharp cuts to remove some parts of it that even talked about money and all that. Because one of them in the videos, during the end of the program, Jeremiah was trying to tell them how much they should come with next time, and they had to cut that part out. But if I don't show you, you will not understand what I'm talking about. So what point am I trying to make right here?
That's why I just paid your money. How you go mountain? The next day, I want to see the man of God. I pay, I no see him 1 week, 2 weeks. I think they give me my money. I no see man of God.
If she was in that particular program, doing that program, and had an encounter with Jeremiah where Jeremiah was saying, this your pikin, this and that and that and that. If she was at that particular program to have that encounter with him, then it should have been in the video. If it was an intentional thing for them to cover it and then take her child, that is if they took their child, that means they would have edited her out before posting it. So I got to find out that every stream of a program they do on their channels, on their platform, after the program might have happened, they go back, carefully edit some part, the good parts they want to present, and then they present it. And I've always told you guys, don't believe everything you see on social media. Una no go hear word. But let's continue with a couple of things. Now, according to the notion of her story in her first report to Berekete TV, the way it sounded was as if everything happened at the same time.
You can't even point. Say, even this small one, I say, yes. He said, this small one, he passed his own prophet to us into the Sia. Before I know, evening time, 6 to 7, they don't close. I don't see picking again.
Which one?
The last one.
That last one where it was
when he even points, when everybody they see him. This
will not be only you and the man of God there.
No, if you want to see person with the protocols.
Now, this was the video that was circulating according to what Prof X pulled out and posted, and it raised a whole lot of alarm around her person. Now, of course, right now we know that she has been arrested, taken to court and then bailed and all that. Of course, is bailable. But you have to understand the circumstances around this. At first, if I just watched only that video, I would have concluded that all this happened. That was what made me think that this particular situation happened during that particular program. But her encounter with Jeremiah Omotofufuyin was not during that particular program, in my opinion, based on my findings. Because if you stayed for a week or two, did you go there 1 week to 2 weeks before the program and met him at the program? Or did you go there 1 to 2 weeks and stayed that long before you met him, which was after the program? Because it now get interesting as we go down with this particular subject. Because even at that time, when she talked about the lady playing with the security by the name Juliet, I was just wondering, I was trying to paint a picture in my mind. Is it that when... Now, let's assume it was as a church program. Look at this particular video that happened during that program of a man who came with the wife and they had kids. And look at what just happened before Jeremiah was praying or doing whatever on the wife. You could see there that the woman that was behind gave a signal to the other security man and asked him to take the child. When they took the child and then the prayer or whatever was done, of course, maybe later the woman got her child. So you could see there that if it was during the program that happened, there will be people that will be beside that will collect the child. And then if you are falling, whether you are falling to Kilimanjaro or falling to wherever you are falling, after falling and you get back to your senses, I don't know how all those falling down solves your problem. But after all those falling, they will now give you your child, okay? But you could see that woman was there with the husband, and they can in that particular situation, that I try to imagine it myself. In that particular situation, if it was there that your child gets meeting, of course you can raise an alarm and everybody will be like, I came here with, and the camera is there watching. Because when we get to the whole CCTV conversation, we are going to get there, because I've seen a lot of comments of that, okay? But I don't know how some of us think, but I get Rudy and I get Rudy, I got how far. So what am I trying to make you understand here?
Before I know, evening time, 6 to 7, they don't close. I don't see picking again.
Which one? The
last one.
That last one where it was
when he even points, when everybody they see him. This
will not be only you and the man of God there.
No, if you want to see person with the protocols, they follow. Can they see person? He come. Even this small one. He say this small one, he pass your own prophet to. They see if you don't big now. They pay money till they see and true. So I say amen. Cause say no worry. If I no come see picking again. When I even come, they shout, they cry. Mona help me, I no see picking again. No, where I put on security they there. Oh, when his name be na Juliet. The pikin play with the security. Oh, I hold the woman. Give me my pikin. Now you carry pikin. Before I know, the Jeremiah come, he order me out.
I was now thinking, was it that when Jeremiah was about to pray for her, the security woman was playing with the kids and she was using one eye to look at the security woman, and then when they finished praying for her, she opened her eyes, she could not see the child again, and she now asked Jeremiah, where is my pikin? And Jeremiah said, get out here. You understand? I was thinking of this whole thing happened at that situation, at that particular, like everything happened on the same spot. But that is not it. Then she now went further in her story and said that she was accused of sending the child to buy Indomie. Now that is practically impossible because she cannot send her own child, that young child, to go and buy Indomie for her. Even if she's sending that child to go and buy something for her, maybe there's going to be an accompaniment. But would you as a mother, if you're watching me right now, would you as a mother send your child that young to go and buy Indomie? Even if you don't have a gate in the compound to even go outside, even if it's just across the street, can that child cross the street or cross the main road himself? Certain things don't make sense. So when she said that, I was like, wow. That must have been a very bad, very illogical, unsensible accusation for them to heap on her, that she sent the child to buy Indomie. And then on that ground, she was being sent out of the occasion. Now, listen, I'm looking at the face case right here. The face scenario where she got to meet with 𝐵RG family, because someone called me on the phone. When this whole thing started, I was like, Madam, how far? She said, have you seen this thing that Prof exists? I want to get justice. If you're watching me, lady, woman, I told you just one thing. Where did this particular case start? The first thing you have to do is call 𝐵RG family and find out from them how far did they go with this case. As at then, I was still dealing with Suleiman's case that was just still hot as at then, even though I think right now I am done, not officially, except for those who are still saying, George, talk about the restaurant and the hospital. If I open my mouth and talk about it, you will hate me, because the things I've only seen in that video alone. Oh my God of mercy.
Onídúró mi, ẹ ṣeun púpọ̀. Onídúró mi, ẹ ṣeun. Onídúró mi, ẹ ṣeun púpọ̀. Ó jẹ́ ènìyàn ló dúró mi, wọ́n ti mọ̀ sí ẹ̀kọ́. Onídúró mi, ẹ ṣeun. Ọlọ́run o. Onídúró mi, ẹ ṣeun. Onídúró mi, ẹ ṣeun púpọ̀. Ó jẹ́ ènìyàn ló dúró mi, wọ́n ti mọ̀ sí ẹ̀kọ́. Onídúró mi, ẹ ṣeun. Onídúró mi, ẹ ṣeun. Ẹ ṣeun púpọ̀. Ó jẹ́ ènìyàn ló dúró mi, wọ́n ti mọ̀ ṣe é kó. Onídúró mi, ẹ ṣeun.